Hello and welcome to Enlarging My Conversation. My name is Jenni O'Neal and I'm just going to walk you through what I've learned these past 8 weeks and also kind of what my goals are for upcoming in my communication skills. If you can follow along here on my slide or my PowerPoint, my first one here, if you go after the first slide, the second slide is a picture of my family. As I've gone through this class and just through my whole master's, what's really been important to me is communicating better with my family. Especially this last class has really brought the attention to the need that I have just to continue to communicate better with them and to deepen those relationships. On to the next slide, my overarching goal is threefold. It's to deepen my relationships by communicating and listening better, taking more time to really hear what people are saying to me. Also to communicate more effectively through self-awareness. That's very important, that I am aware that I'm not listening the way I should be, or that I'm quick to speak instead of listen. There's so many different things that I've become aware of in my need to just kind of develop skills in order to truly let me focus on what others are saying. And then that third skill is just to love others like God has loved me, and just to continue to care about them. And a big way that we do that, just based on what we know about human behavior, is just to listen and to understand what they're saying. You go on to the next slide. My background in behavioral blend, I'm kind of an odd blend according to Carbonell's assessment. I have strong leadership skills, I'm great in social situations, I really lack attention to detail. All of these things are things that were pointed out through that assessment. And knowing where I came from, those things have always been true of my personality. I was raised in just a wonderful family. We got things done, we're very task-oriented. We communicate well, but we don't really communicate deeply. So I see personality traits as well as family background really playing into how I communicate now. There's positives and there's negatives about that. If you go on to that next slide. I'm comfortable leading others. I am looked up to and respected. I'm able to get tasks done. I'm able to express ideas clearly. So there's a lot of things that are positives about my behavioral blend, my personality, my background, all of those things pulled together. But there are also negatives. A lot of times I can seem distant or not interested, and that could be just in my hurry to get things done or my lack of attention to detail. Lots of different things that play into that. Looking on that screen, I can be perceived as arrogant or proud just in my hurry to get things done. If you move on to the next slide then, barriers to communication, hearing what I want to hear based on the text from the book. That is something that I do. Biased listening, and also I can be a faker as a listener. The solutions to that, the first one, hearing what I want to hear, I need to listen carefully, repeat back what was said. So instead of trying to think of what I'm going to say next, just to say, listen to what they're saying, speak it back to them. Is this what I hear you saying? Another thing that I could do as far as a solution is to avoid those emotional words. That biased listening, I tend to tune someone out if I disagree with them or if they're not my favorite person. So I can kind of incorporate all these skills, as well as be careful not to attack or accuse, but to truly listen to what they're trying to say to me right now, leaving out kind of my feelings on them. And then the last one, faker. I can fake listening when I'm really not, doing all that good nonverbal communication, but really not hearing what they're trying to tell me and what need they're trying to express. And really the solution that I came up with for that is simply to pray and to continue to develop a more genuine and authentic love for others. You move to the next slide here. I'm going to talk about noise pollution, which is internal or external factors that have a negative influence on our ability to communicate. Internal factors for me could be a lack of desire, just feeling like I have enough relationships, I really don't need to get into a lengthy conversation with everyone and really get to know them. That's something that I really struggle with. So that is that internal pollution that I see regularly. Also, just a lack of knowledge about the fact that I'm tuning people out, that I'm not making efforts to really hear and listen to them. Those are things that are really barriers to my communicating. The next slide talks about internal factor solutions. Education, definitely what I've been doing is key. Prayer is key to everything, to loving others as Christ loved me, to investing in them because of what He has given me. Also, just reading books, rereading my textbooks, implementing my plan to not think ahead about what I'm going to say, lay aside feelings about that person and just truly listen, repeating back what that person has said, trying to utilize the skills that I have, as well as continue to gain knowledge about other skills that would help me in my communicating with others. Almost done. Moving on down here to external factors. Lack of time and lack of common value systems are the two factors that I indicated. Time is a big one. I have kids, I'm going to school, I have a job, I have a husband, I have extended family. There's so many things that I'm trying to just get done in the day, so lack of time and really communicating with those that I need to communicate with or that need to be heard. My friends often get left out of that. But then that other one, the external of lack of commonality, I really struggle to truly communicate with someone and have that dialogue like we learned about with someone without jumping to conclusions about them or judging them based on what they believe because it's different than what I believe. So just recognizing that those are things that kind of I do naturally is the first step in trying to reduce that pollution to make me a better communicator with those that I do not necessarily have a lot in common with or don't have the same value system. Factor solutions, again, prayer, understanding my own value system, and really trying to understand the value system or the background of those that I'm trying to communicate with. For instance, a coworker who, personality-wise, we just do not click. Understanding where they're coming from, why they're doing what they're doing, and kind of implementing some of those skills, like Peterson said, instead of doing that flat brain where I just tune them out, to really sit and listen, not to own the problem, just to hear it and understand where they're coming from. If you go on to the next slide, we're talking about my plan of action. Don't think ahead to plan what I'm going to say. Continue to gain knowledge through education, through reading, through classes, hanging on to the books that have really been helpful in helping me. Continued self-assessment, where after I have a conversation with someone, after my day at work, after an evening with my family, saying, what could I have done differently to truly listen? I've already found that I am improving in my ability to listen just simply by assessing the fact that, hey, I wasn't really interested in what they were saying, I was just kind of nodding and I couldn't wait to tell my story. So like in our text, we learned that that's kind of common but not a healthy way of communication. So my plan is to implement and continue to implement these basic strategies that will continue to help me be more effective in communicating. Last slide there is the references that we have used throughout the class, and also additional references that I read in order just to continue to help me better be able to communicate, better able to listen, be able to continue on my journey of communication. Thank you very much.